if you're watching this video right now, I'm going to help put you in a abundance mindset, and I'll help you with your scarcity mindset regarding finances and money, especially personal finances. So budgeting is one of the things that will help get you from where you are now. If you're in a scarcity mindset or you're not doing well financially and you're like, I need help, let me help you. When you put yourself on a budget, and I know people hate that word, I hated that word. I was always like, that's stupid. Why the hell do people put themselves on a budget? I never understood that. But then I started understanding why you put yourself on a budget. I'm here to tell you, when you put yourself on a budget, you're being aware of your money. You want to be aware of where your money's going. You want to be intentional of that money. Because if you're not intentional of that money, you're just going to spend it and waste it, and it's going to go out the window. And then you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh, where'd all my money go? Why am I in so much debt? And that's not fun. I have been there. It is not a fun feeling. And it's better to stop yourself now going down that rabbit hole than put yourself on a budget now and be intentional about your money and to know where your money's going and to want to be wealthy in the future and start now, than wake up 5 years from now and be like, shit, I should have listened to Jeremy. Watching this video right now, you should stop everything you're doing, listen to me, and I will help you put yourself on a better financial path. When you put yourself on a budget, what you're doing is you are putting every single dollar that's on your budget, you are giving it every single dollar a job. You're being conscious of this. Money is not mathematical for the most part. It's behavior based. So if you don't know where your money is going, that's a behavioral issue. It's not a mathematical issue. It depends how you've been raised too. A lot of people have been raised where, they think a lot of negative things about money, and that behavior and that mindset comes out in your finances. And if you sit down right now and you, like I use Rocket Money, for instance, and you put yourself on a budget and you see where all your money's going, you will be shocked at how much money you spend on certain places. And you will just be in awe about where some of that money's going. And you won't be happy about it, because I was not happy about where I was spending my money. And it's all about awareness. You got to be aware of where your money's going, or you will always be broke. It's funny, people think that doctors, dentists, for instance, high paying jobs like that in the medical field are rich and multimillionaires. They're not. They didn't even make it to the top 5 of your average multimillionaire. They didn't even make it to the top 5. You know who made it to the top 5? Well, one of the couple that made it to the top 5, engineer and teacher, are one of the top 5 of your average millionaire people. And that's because they work on systems. Teachers know that they have a system to go by. They teach a certain system and they know how much they make, and they have to use that for the most part for the whole year. And same thing with engineers. They go based on systems. They go based on behaviors. But you got, for instance, doctors and people who are in the medical field. A lot of them use a lot of debt. A lot of them, it's, that's just how the industry is. It's huge debt. They go and buy their practices. They're in massive amounts of debt. They work like dogs. And it's because they never sit down and they're not aware of what they're doing. And that's in a lot of industries, and that's a lot of people in general. I mean, if you're listening to this, you're going to be the top 1%. I guarantee you. If you're listening to this right now and you do what I say, you'll be the top 1%. It's not that hard to gain wealth. It's just everything you've been told by the media, by your parents, by people around you who don't have money, or seeing people around you who do have money and lost everything. There's a lot of programs that you've been programmed for to think that money is hard to get. Money's hard to come by. It's not. And when you put yourself on this budget, you're doing that first step to getting yourself rich and becoming a multimillionaire. When I put myself on a budget, I couldn't tell you how much money I was spending. It was crazy. I was making 10 times more money than I did when I was 14 at my first job. And because of debt, I was worth less. Think about that. Making 10 times more money than when I was 14 being a busboy at a diner. And I was making less. Well, I was worth less because of debt. Because, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter. You can make $1 million a year and be broke. I know people who make a lot of money and they're broke. And I know people who make a lot of money, sell their businesses for a lot of money, and they're spending it like it's going out of style. So again, it doesn't matter how much money you make. You can make $50,000 a year right now. And if you budget and you put if you use every single dollar and you put a job to every single dollar, you will become wealthy over time. I'm not get rich quick. I'm not here to be a get rich quick guru, because those guys are failing you. Those guys are hustle culture. They're going to massive amounts of debt to get money. Those guys are talking off of fear. They are speaking to your fear. I'm not speaking to your fear. I'm speaking to your abundance. I want to reprogram your mind in a better way that most of these gurus could never even do. Because also, you got to think about it, they've been programmed too. So I'm not here to say that's directly their fault, but everybody's been programmed. We've all been programmed by this system. And there's a reason why the 1%'s the 1%, because they have a different mindset. They're very optimistic about things. People I know that are entrepreneurs are the most optimistic people I've ever met in my entire life. And they're some of the most wealthiest people I've ever met in my entire life. Because could you imagine starting 10 different businesses and them all failing, and the 11th business succeeds and you make $10 million on that business? I know friends like that. And I see what they go through every day, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm pulling my hair for you. So the entrepreneurs, the most optimistic people you ever meet in your life, you got to be optimistic. If you're not optimistic about life, you're going to fall into a subconscious program. Like people who don't put themselves on a budget. If you don't put yourself on a budget, you're going to fall into a subconscious program. You're going to start spending money like it's going out of style. And then everything that you've ever heard about money, all these negative things about the rich that you believe, you're going to end up subconsciously actually self-sabotaging yourself. That's what you do. Everything's subconscious. Our lives are run, 98% of our lives are run on our subconscious. But the second you become aware of that, and the second you pull yourself out of that, you start realizing, hey, listen, I can get rich. I can do anything I put my mind to. And if you start doing that, then you're becoming aware of yourself. Then you start programming and you start creating directly your reality, because your subconscious mind's creating your reality every single day. But once you become aware of that, you can program it yourself, and then you can start getting the things that you want out of life. And again, coming back to the budget thing, when you put yourself on a budget and you look at where your money's going, that's an abundance thing. Don't see it as a scarcity thing, as, oh my gosh, I'm not, I can't spend as much money anymore. No, and I did that too. It was really hard for me, but this is how I see it now. That every dollar that you put a job to is going to, at some point, make you a lot of money. Because if you start putting yourself on a budget right now, and you start seeing where every single one of your dollars is going, now you're being intentional. You're being intentional now. But if you don't have yourself on a budget, you're not being intentional. You're just throwing money out the window. You don't know where your money's going. If you are looking at your bank statement every single month and it looks the same every single month and it's not growing, it's because you're not understanding where your money is going. And how are you going to get rich if you don't respect your money? Money goes to those who respect it. If you don't respect your money, why would money come to you? You have to use it. It's currency. It flows. You have to understand where your money is going, and you have to be intentional about it. You have to put away your 6 months emergency fund. You gotta spend less money than you make. You gotta pay off all your debts, so then you're not giving money away to creditors and not putting it in your own pocket. You got to pay yourself first. And what paying yourself first really means is put 15% of every single thing you make into an index fund, for instance, into investments. The S&P 500 is what I use, for instance. That's what I do. 15% of everything I make goes towards that. Did you know if you put $100 a month in the S&P 500 for 40 years, you will retire with $1.1 million? All you got to do is put $100 a month in the S&P 500. and you retire with $1.1 million. There is no reason that you need to retire broke. Like, and this is the optimistic mindset I'm talking to you about. That's all you have to do. All you have to do, put yourself on a budget. Understand where all your money is going. Be aware of where your money is going. Save up your 6 months' expenses. Pay off all your debts. And live debt-free. And put 15% of everything you make into your investment account. And that'll compound. It's all about behavior. That's it. It's all about behavior. I know a lot of us are not in a good position. I understand that. I was not in a good position not too long ago either. But it's all about being optimistic and programming yourself, programming your brain, telling yourself you can do this. Just because you don't make that much money right now doesn't mean you won't make more money in the future. You got to put your mind on what you want. You got to tell yourself, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm going to accomplish. No matter where you want to go, know you're going to get there. Be there. Feel it. Know that's where you're going to go, and that's where you will go, because you're creating your own reality. And by being conscious and aware of what's going on in your mind, then you can change it. If you start seeing yourself slipping and you start being negative and stuff, all you need to do is tweak it a little bit. Tweak it a little bit. Be a little bit more optimistic today. Be a little bit more positive today. Focus more on the positive things. Go and follow content like mine. Go and follow content that helps you understand manifestation, understand personal finance as well. Go and follow that stuff, because the second you start following that stuff, it'll make a huge impact on you. It'll make you optimistic about life. You'll enjoy life for a change instead of stressing, because stressing won't do anything for you. Watching the news won't do anything for you. All it will do is put your cortisol levels up in your brain. It'll make you stress more. It'll make you binge eat. It'll make you start spending more money than you expect to spend because you're stressing out, and it'll make you feel good. So again, be optimistic about life. Life is whatever you want it to be. You create your reality. I appreciate you guys checking this video out. I want you guys to comment below awareness. Comment below awareness. And again, thank you for checking out my channel. And this is Luxona, where millionaires are made.